Hey guys, welcome to another episode of
Discovering Our Journey.
I'm your host MC.
I'm JC.
Man, it's been a week.
It has been. It has been. It's
man.
always a week, right?
It has.
It's the next week and then the
That's
next week
right.
after that.
That's right.
This week, more than anything, I've heard a lot of opposites attract.
Oh, man.
Remember that old saying? Opposites attract. Do they really attract, though? Do they really attract?
You know, I guess it. Sometimes. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like a lot of people I feel look to the good in other people sometimes. So maybe that's why it's an opposite, right? Like, oh, you know, I always see that one person might be a little bit more direct than the other person. So, you know, that's how it kind of works. So I think there's a lot of different opposites. So we got to be got to get into it.
I really think that if you say, because I said it too, hey, opposites attract, I think that's like challenge on. Like, really, challenge on.
Oh,
Why?
man.
Because it's never going to be your style. It's going to be another style.
I know, but when you say challenge on, then it makes me like, you know, think about when you're trying to fix someone, you know?
Well, you know you can't fix anybody.
Well, I know, but
you gotta want to be fixed.
I know, but at least for us men, you know, what I've heard before is like, you know, let me rephrase it here. The way it is like you want to be the prince to save the princess, you know. So at least
valiant.
that's what I've heard in my days. Like, oh, you're trying to be a prince, huh? It's like you can't fix that right there. So it's like, you know. So I hear, you know, I'm trying to save someone that don't want to be saved. Let's just say. So like when you know, when I was younger, I remember, you know, it's like, oh yeah, you know, help someone out or whatever, but they don't want to
Save
help
the
themselves.
damsel.
Yeah. So then that could be a problem there because, you know, they might not want to put the effort to be saved.
But how do you know that they want to be saved to begin with? Are you sure you're not expecting that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. You know, like.
But then that would be a bigger thing, wouldn't it? Because then that would mean that you are trying to compensate for something, right? I mean, to try to save someone else.
Well, but the thing is that if that person's in need, right? Like, oh my God, I don't know how to fix this, or I don't know how to do that, right? So you come in, it's like, oh, I can do it, no problem. You know what I'm saying? So you come in to do it, but then it's like, is that person taking advantage of you, or they really don't know how to do it? You know, or are you doing too much? So it's like, you know, and then they have that big thing where it's like, is there such thing as, you know, the big, you know, opposites attract, which is you could say the
Everything is different, dude. There's not. I don't know if there's one. There's everything.
Well, the big one that we got to watch out for, I feel, is the dependency and the control.
Okay, that's huge. Well, one or the other, right? It has to be.
Well, that's the thing, because I
Yeah.
feel like that's sometimes the biggest attraction there is. Dependency, control.
And you're never gonna really know which one you are, though.
What do you mean?
Who really wants to call it out? Like, yeah,
do
I'm
you
the
mean?
controller.
You know,
I like to control everything. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
dependent. I
Well,
just go along with them.
If you're the one that talks more than your husband, then that would be.
No, that's not true. Hey, silence does a lot. You know, people have done a lot with silence.
Listen. That's what people that talk a lot say. But you know, I'm just saying. Look,
I know. I'm just trying to be difficult now. Because now I'm just trying to save myself.
And I can tell you because I felt like I was independent when I first, you know, got into my relationship.
Absolutely.
So I felt like I didn't want to have a voice. I didn't want to have a say. So I was like, you know, I reclused into a way of being that, you know. So sometimes it made it can make your partner be the controlling person.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's what I'm saying. It's a very slippery slope right there of how we treat each other.
That's big that you would say that. That I kicked her with my personality. I kicked her into the controlling part.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Well, it's something that, you know, you learn as you grow and stuff like that because, you know, it's already a part that, you know, my spouse has a very strong personality.
Yeah.
You know, and then me putting everything on her, it didn't help the situation. So it made it even worse.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
And I was the damaged person. So I was the controlling because I never wanted to be controlled again.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought pulverizing him would tell him what's up.
Yeah.
No, but that's like, it's funny now because that's
Yeah.
where I started.
Yeah.
You know, you don't understand that hurt people hurt others. And the way I did it, I was like, dang, geez, it could have ended up worse than it was. And I'm glad it was just where it was.
And I think,
yeah.
and I think more than anything, it's no matter what it is, it's trying to find a middle ground and work to level out the relationship is what it is about the whole opposites attract. You know, because if you're a homebody and they're an out body, you know, or how they say, what is it?
Active.
No, there's the other word.
Extrovert.
There you go. Introvert, extrovert. It's like, you know, what exactly degrees do you have? Because I mean, I feel like there is some ways where it's not going to work. You know, because let's just say you're an extrovert and you like to go out and stuff and with your friends, and you have an introvert. You know, technically speaking, it can work out.
Yeah, it can.
but then you have a lot of things to consider. Let's just say that's the situation. So if you have an extrovert and introvert, and let's just say this person feels uncomfortable going out to even family gatherings because, they're like, no, I want to be like this. So I feel like what happens is, let's just say the person's okay with you going, yeah, you go visit your family once a week. I come
Yeah.
every other week or every month or whatever because I don't
Yeah.
feel comfortable.
Yeah.
It seems okay because the other person's okay with it. But how really are you growing your relationship when you start doing that?
Especially when you're splitting that time, like you go there, I go here, you're no longer a unit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that even though one
It's hard.
person is okay with it, or both persons, right? Yeah, I'm okay going to my family's once a week, even though my significant other doesn't come.
Yeah.
Even though both of you are okay with it, it starts to put a wedge between the relationship
Yes.
and continuing to work on that relationship.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you go to your family once a week, then you work on, the person coming every other week, and then maybe 1 week double it up, whatever. Because the whole point is to, feel like you're working together towards stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then maybe 1 week you miss twice. It's okay. Things happen. So it's like work within a balance. So no matter what relationship you're in, it's got to be a balance.
That sounds like there's a whole lot of learning there for you, experience, huh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Me too. Don't worry, me too. Me too. But speaking of opposites attract, yeah, you're right. There is a level because you can be a complete introvert and still, when you're outside with friends and stuff, you need to have the spotlight on you. There's a whole lot of different ways about that. So you don't really categorize people like that, but you definitely see where you kind of need to start working on it, right? Because it's all self. But as far as opposites attract, one thing I did find, which is kind of funny, I always said I wanted a person like me, that I was like vocal, very, I thought I spoke my mind and I had so many ideas. But when I realized my partner wasn't like that, it kind of made me unsettled. I got a little bit, I had to learn new techniques because I started to realize something. When they go into themselves, like me, I get to, like, let's say for you, for example, I'm an extrovert. I tell you some things. I don't tell you everything, but I do tell you some things. And sometimes you'll be like, hey, what's up with you? What's wrong with you? Because you know me. It's not me. And I'll tell you little bits and pieces that I feel comfortable with that you're just like, you know what? It's all good. We all go through the seasons, And you give me feedback that allows me to think my thoughts and your thoughts. Now, my partner, not so much. He's an introvert, complete introvert, and he thinks to himself. He's very quiet, and so the thoughts are going to come into himself, and he's not going to have anyone else's ideas or opinions but his own, and that gets hard too. So we all have our own unique struggles, but nonetheless, they're still struggles, and as long as we see them, I think it's important that, for me, like, I notice that I have to follow with empathy a lot because he's not really getting more ideas from anyone else other than himself. And where is that? From whatever he knows, whatever he's taught, whatever his belief became, that's up to where it goes. And so now it's up to me to be like, hey, and I have to find his love language, his way of talking, and find a way to, like, finagle myself in there so we can grow together and past certain situations.
Yeah, I mean, I feel it's pretty difficult when, well, I mean, no matter what, it's difficult, no matter which way you are and stuff like that.
Just partnering up with anyone alone is difficult.
It's like if your partner was, because, I mean, could you imagine if your partner was above you? If your partner was to an extreme, like,
What do you mean, taller? What do you mean above me?
Well, I mean,
like he was a prince?
No. In other words, like you said, he doesn't, like you were saying, he keeps more to himself, and it was more someone like
he was more extreme?
Expressive, yeah. Extreme, expressive, and really like, so it's like,
God.
so it's like, would you be able to handle that? So it's like,
oh my God. You know what movie made me laugh when I thought about that? What's that one with, what's his name? Where he desires to be like, he wants this woman so bad, and so he makes a deal with the devil, and he's like, make me a romantic, and he's like, make me a millionaire, and he's like, he's a narco, make me a, what's his name?
What's my God, yes, Bewitched.
Bedazzled.
No, I love that movie, I know. I was like, what are you doing to me? Oh my God, I love that movie. Oh, dude.
That made me realize
yeah.
how many emotions there are, and how many, like, ways of being, and, like, how you can, just a lot. Yeah. But yeah, so
my favorite part, by the way, was when he was a basketball player and he's like, "I'm this big, but what the heck is going on?"
And he's all flaunting it too. He's like, "Yeah, I know." I love it. I love it.
No, I love it.
But yeah, so back to that though. So
yeah, I mean, at least for my situation, I feel like my spouse was always been pretty loud, like not loud in a bad way, but just pretty straight on, come from, would just
They
tell
would
you how
tell
it
you
is.
what's in her
Yeah.
head.
And then me, I feel like I was above her because I was more explosive. So for my situation,
above her because you're explosive.
yeah. So
Okay.
I had to bring it down. You know how you're saying maybe he's got to come up, a little bit more out of his comfort zone, and maybe speak a little more, or he's got to, do, So it's like for me, it's like it's in your face. So I had to kind of tone it down. So I feel like, at least for me, it's like you see it, so it's got to tone it down. And when someone's maybe more reclusive or not as expressive, I think it's a lot harder to pull it out because you don't know if you're really pulling or you pushing. What are you doing exactly?
Why did you think that was? That you said you were so explosive that you got physical? Because I had that big problem for a very long time, where I didn't want to talk. I wanted to show you. Why does that happen?
I mean, at least for me, it's like me. I would never raise a hand to my wife or anything like that, but I would go and just my anxiety, I guess, at the time that I before when knew what anxiety was. It's just my explosiveness of not being able to. At least now I can tell you what it was. It was my frustration with my thoughts and my words and my actions. Like I felt like I didn't know who I was, and I'd be like, "Argh," and just be like,
Turn into the Hulk.
Exactly, turn into the Hulk.
Yeah.
And I'm the type that I would leave the house because I didn't want to do no damage in the house or nothing. I would leave the house and I would just go and hit walls and telephone poles and just come back with bloody knuckles and just.
Oh my
because
gosh, we're censoring all this. Don't worry. We'll keep it PG. That for you.
I would hit clouds and marshmallows.
How about I would fight myself? I would be in a mental struggle. It would be a war.
I would be a fight club, all right. I mean, was it that Fight Club kind of thing, just getting out that aggression, right? It was a thing, right? You get out that aggression. So, I guess for me, I just want to get out that aggression and stuff like that, just because of the frustration, even with oneself, not understanding yourself, not understanding the world, not understanding a lot of stuff. It's difficult. It's difficult, and for at least for a man, I feel like we have a different type of pressure than a woman does to be a man.
Yeah. You can't do that though.
I said different.
Women have different kind of pressures than a woman.
What I'm saying is that. Okay, in a nutshell.
You'll never know.
Okay.
I'll never know.
Okay, go ahead. What is it? I'll give you my men's thought of what we feel like. You go ahead and tell me your women's thought. What are you really stressing about? What is the thing?
So now, I mean, with the physical thing, why I'd get physical?
No, just the whole woman thing of being a man. Like I said, to me, is different. Like, to be a man is, you've been told you have to be this way and that way and this way and head a household. I mean, you have to be the responsible. You have to be, again, you've been told all that stuff. So you tell me, what is it? What is the difficult?
How much time do we got here?
What's the difficult saying?
Talk about expectations. We're supposed to be loving, always like willing to be cushiony, right? No matter how much you kick our butts and punch us and slap us and say mean things to us, we're supposed to be squishy and still loving and hugging, which is true. We should be, but it's really hard when you're broken and you're expected to do so much things. I think that's where it's too much. For me, that was too much. There was a lot of expectation, as for me too, being a woman. Don't forget too that men, like, we're never gonna know each other, no matter what. Nobody knows what it is to be in their skin. Whether you are a woman or a man, were you the shortest of the family? Were you the first? Were you the last? All that comes into effect when the big picture kind of comes into play. It really does. But for me, myself, I saw how women in my culture, especially my culture, we had no voice. Okay, you did as you were told, and that's it. And then you fed everybody, and you slaved. You were the nurse, you were the doctor, you were the cook, you were the maid, you were the child care provider, you were the taxi, and then you were there to be fun bags for your honey. My God, just like you.
like I said though, but the difference.
So what kind of pressures do you have?
But what I'm saying. But what I feel
we're measuring stuff up over
all right,
here.
let's do it, dang it. What I feel for men, it's all about their mind. It's the mind. Mind is first, heart is second, their inside. Now, quote me if I'm wrong, but I feel like women are heart first, mind second.
Yeah, because we're emotional.
Perfect.
Yes.
So that's what I have learned. And that's what I'm saying. So we struggle in the whole, like, how do we become a man and this and this and that? And you struggle with, how am I going to love someone but just take all this stuff? So I do have a little bit of an understanding of what's going on because, again, I see it, I've lived it, I've felt a lot of stuff. I get it, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I said it is. I'm not trying to compare as in which one's harder or other, but it's like our struggle is our mind. Our minds are going a certain way, and your struggle is the emotional part to get that, because it's like, for you, women, that's why they're women minds, they can do multitask. Their minds are good. But
And with the emotional one, I do gotta say, because I even did that to my own son, where he would get hurt and I'd lift him up. I'd be like, no, 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 Yotis, no, Yotis, no, Yotis. Like, there's no reason to cry. Like, I think that part is sad for boys, to not be able to feel like you can cry, even though it's a small little gesture, of just, oh, no, 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 no. And you're trying just not to allow them to feel the hurt because you want to save them a little bit as an adult. But I see where that kind of hurt my kid.
it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think there's no book, I guess, but the thing is that I feel like there's goods and bads in that. Yeah, you're right. You want to make sure that when it's okay to cry, it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
And when it's not okay to cry, you say, hey, it's okay. Nothing's. I mean, it's like one of those things where if you could tell a kid, hey, if you don't cry, I'm gonna take you to McDonald's, and he don't cry, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
he's sitting there with this thing like this. It's like, I'm gonna take you to McDonald's if you don't cry. He's like. And he's like this with his legs all the hands all twisted, and it's like, come on, you going too far, girl. You can't be like, oh, mom, are you sure I'm gonna be okay? It's like you're gonna be fine. Yeah, no, then we gotta go to the doctor.
How about the triggers that we get? Because I did hear you say that you got anxiety from all the emotions that you got before you were exploding.
Well, I don't like to call it anxiety. I don't like that word, but it's just.
Why not?
Anxiety is something that I feel that we all can create in our heads. And the truth is, I call it anxiety because that's relatable to people. It's the anxiety. But what it was just not working on myself, not knowing myself, frustrated because I didn't know how to speak to my wife, frustrated because I didn't know how to speak as a person, as an adult. I didn't know how to treat things. I didn't know a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what that's what it really was.
It is. Did you see the movie Inside Out? I love how they portrayed all the emotions, anxiety, how it's like, ah!
Yeah.
You're right, because it's like you don't know how to organize that thought where you're just like, it's the end of the world. So I do agree that anxiety can be worked on. If not, it does run rampant. It just does its own thing. And it makes things worse than what it actually is. Yeah, you freak out. You freak out.
It's like, the way I see it is almost like anxiety is a result. It's a bigger thing. I don't like to use the word anxiety because I feel like by anxiety is almost like, oh, I got a cut. And then later you're like, oh, I got an infection. See, that's anxiety. To me, that's how I see anxiety. It's like it starts off with the cut, with the problem, not being able to solutionize something.
Okay.
But then you're like, ooh, it's an infection. See, now you did
It's getting worse.
It's getting worse. And so now it's anxiety. So that's why I don't like to say that. I just like to really concentrate on the stuff I need to work on. Concentrate on the cuts that I have that I got to heal and keep working on healing them so they don't become anxiety, so they don't become the infection that I got to deal with now.
And you know what? You said something strong because I recently, and you were there with me when I just learned something very true, is that not everything has to be resolved. I don't have to be the person that has an answer to resolve that situation. I love how there was a problem that came up to me and then you shared with me a problem and you're like, yeah, there was a problem that I had and I didn't know what to do. So I prayed with them. And I was like, dang, you know what? I need to get there. I need to get there more because I love praying. I always pray, but you're right. In moments like that, where it gets too thick for me, I try to be the solution driver instead of like, hey, you know what, God, you handle this because this is way out of my scope.
And I will tell you, I didn't tell you this when we talked, but I did tell you that I was pretty much on kind of going to do what you said.
Yeah.
But that's just our instinct. That's just our hearts, our love, our feeling that you want to get, you want to jump into resolve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's the best one that knows which side is the best, and he's like, let me fix it. Let me fix it. We just got to give him the authority.
You just got to stand back and let him do his thing. You can't jump in, Absolutely.
Absolutely. While we were talking about that, my friend and I, and we were talking about forgiveness, it's so necessary to forgive because when moments come over our heads like that, and you say, God, like, I give you the authority. I give you the authority to be the author because your ways are always better than mine. And he ends up fixing it because we have the authority to say it. He gives us that authority. And he fixes it. Maybe not my way, but he does fix it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. Mm-hmm. But, yeah. Relationships. Would it be easier then, do you think, would it be easier to be with someone that's just like you? Imagine that. I think I'd get sick of me. I'd be like, you shut up. I see that in the mirror all the time.
I really feel that, I had a theory before. It's like, or I had a way of thinking before that it's like, yes, you want someone like you. So I feel like there's a right and a wrong way.
Right.
I feel
Morals,
like
right?
Well,
You want someone to have your morals.
I think that there is certain things that cannot be, that are more difficult as you stretch those levels of how you guys are. Mm-hmm. Do they have to be different? I feel like it's healthy to have someone that has a little bit of differences in you because, like I said before, there's only one type of perfect relationship. You know which one that one is?
No.
It's the one you keep working on every day.
That's
the one. So, because the thing is that imagine if you guys, always wanted to do the same thing or did whatever. I feel like there's got to be a whole yin and a yang.
There is.
There has to be. But there is degrees where, again, there's degrees where, we get into situations where work. Maybe this person works a lot and you don't, and your partner might not care for that.
Yeah.
Maybe they work nights and they work days and you don't see each other. And it's like, how healthy is that going to be in the long run? How, unless you're really working on in those hours that you're together, you guys are really working on, doing something, then it's going to be a problem.
That's true.
So even though you guys are both okay with it, you're roommates. You're not, you're not even a couple anymore because you're not working on it. That's what I'm saying. The perfect relationship is the one you keep working at. So if you keep avoiding each other because of work, because of other stuff, because you're going out with your friends and she's going out with her friends or something or whatever it is, or still wants to party and you don't, and it's just like there has to be a balance in everything.
Yeah.
There has to be a balance in everything, and the work that you put in the relationship has to be there.
Dude, I saw the best video. This chick does some pretty cool ones. I need to know her name too, so I can give her some props. But she did one. She's dressing up like a night streetwalker. You know what I mean? And like a seductress.
We call it a go-go dancer.
There you go, sure. So she's on the street, and here comes a car coming up to her, and she leans in, and she's just like, "Hey, did you see that one?
No, I can just imagine.
To you? No, she's like, "Hey," and he's like, "Hey, so, he's all, so, how much?" And she's like, "Well, what do you need?" And he's all, "I just want you to tell me how I work so hard for you. I do everything for you, like a man wants,
Yeah.
And she goes, "It's 500." She's like, "But it was 200 last time." She's like, "Yeah, well, inflation, come on." And then there's a guy behind her that honks the horn. He's like, "Hey!" He's all, "How about me?" And she's like, "Hey, I'm working here. Like, calm down really quick. Because, like, you're not the only one that needs it, So it was funny because all these men were saying is, I just want affirmation of me being a manly man, or I wouldn't go searching for it, like, out there. Well, very, very interesting, her motto there.
Well, I've said this before.
Yeah.
Because I hear women say this all the time. All right. So I'll see I'll hear a woman say, "Oh yeah, the man cheated on a girl with me and she wasn't even pretty."
A man cheated on a girl?
Yeah. In other words, cheated on her.
Okay.
She got cheated on by her man and she wasn't even pretty.
Oh.
And we see it out there in the media all the time, and we see celebrities that cheat and you're like, "Dang, dude, you're with that and you went with that."
Yeah.
And why is that? We go back to the same thing. It's, especially, again, remember what I told you before. What did I tell you when we started this? A way to a man's troubles. Hold on.
Wait a second, though, because I've seen some of my friends, my male friends, who have gone that route with an amazing woman on their hands, but they don't see, because just like I've had it in my relationships where they're just like, "Well, you said you didn't love me anymore." Wait a second, did I say that? Or did I say you're not doing what I'm asking you to do? And so now you're composing it to say what you just said right now. You're summarizing, sure. I guess you can take it like that.
But you're talking about what now? We're not talking about...
Well, I'm saying sometimes men do get told, you're so good, you don't have to like put a bar, I think you're an amazing person, and they refuse to believe it because of whatever they might have in their past.
Okay.
They do.
I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm not saying that that's not true. And again, they hear those same words from someone else, and they just melt.
Like my son. You know how many times I've told him, I said, "Honey, you are such an amazing man.
We've talked
you are gorgeous.
about
I got
this.
you.
We've
I got
talked
you."
about this.
It doesn't matter.
Value.
It's still in the same plane field.
No, the value.
Because when someone else tells him that, it's going to mean a lot more, which is fine.
I'm going to tell you this. I can tell you that my wife sometimes tells me things, oh, you're smart, or you're like this, or you're
Mm-hmm.
like that. And the truth is that it used to bother me.
Compliments used to bother you?
Well, I don't feel my way
You
that
thought she
way.
was just like
Well,
fluffing up your skirt or
I
something?
mean, it's just she's my wife. I mean, 25 years. It's like she got to say something. I'm not saying it's not true. She's got to say something. I mean, I don't know where the truth or
You
the
can't
lie
sit
are.
there and be like, tell me more about my eyes,
Yeah,
honey.
it's like I'm all swollen, like maybe I'm beautiful. I'm swollen. I mean, I don't know. She would say that. Hi, baby, you're beautiful. Come on, that's what I'm saying. So look, all I'm saying, all I'm saying is that.
It's going to be
So
rating chairs in a minute.
Long ride home.
all I'm saying is that I used to get mad at it. I used to get mad when she used to tell me that, and we used to. I mean, it would almost cause fights sometimes. Like, oh, you're so smart. You're like this. I'm trying to figure something out, and I'm like, stop. It's like I would get upset because I don't view myself that way. Now, to be honest with you, the only thing difference is I take it with a different piece now when she tells me. Do I believe her? Hell no, I still don't believe her. But that's not the point. I don't. I appreciate her, so I take it that way.
So do you think it's not her, it's you?
Well, it's always me though. That's the
Okay,
thing. It's always
okay,
us. I mean, we're
okay.
our worst critics.
Wait,
We're,
you said it's me, and then you said it's us. So.
well, in other words. I mean, I don't know if you believe everything your husband says, but I'm just saying. You look great in that dress and whatever. I'm just saying. People, we always say that.
Oh, he always does. You lie. You lie. The mirror just told me the truth.
But the bottom line is, when we make it ugly, is when we start listening to ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's got eyes that are made for you. I might be like, dang girl, you gonna wear that? But your husband looks at you with eyes of love, and no matter what you put on, it's gonna be beautiful to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you learn to say the print is ugly. All right, you gotta say that the print is ugly. It's not flattering to you. You got to learn the words to say.
Yeah, I like
It's
the way
not
you
the
said.
dress.
I don't prefer that.
Yes, I don't prefer that print.
Yeah.
Those colors just don't bring out your eyes like the other colors.
Oh, there you
So
go.
yeah, see, I got a list of them. Trust me. You got to make sure you say the right things. But back to what I was saying. The point is that I don't get upset no more from what she tells me. Do I believe it? No, I don't. But
Does it help that she even says it?
the truth is, I don't feel that it helps the way that I see it now. Like I feel like, oh, she just loves me no matter how I look. She's gonna say it. It's awesome to have someone that's always gonna believe in you and counting you. So I feed it in a different way in myself now. So I don't look at it through here. Remember, this is what I was telling you where we get in trouble. When we analyze what the person's saying and us guys use this, that's when we get in trouble. Because we try to make sense of what they're saying. And it's like, no, I don't. I got a freaking pimple right here, or this or that, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And women do it too. It's
Yeah,
like,
we do.
You know what I'm
we
saying?
do.
It's like they see their imperfections. They see their imperfections, and then they're like, and then they are like, no, and this and that, and then they get upset of how their hair is or whatever because
Yeah,
they're
'cause-
I cut it really short or something. I don't know. So the thing is that, but see, you guys just come from the emotion, and you have to be more rational about what he's saying. And we try to rationalize what she's saying, but we got to be a little bit more emotional about it. So we have to balance that situation. Is what I'm saying.
Now, TikTok's been sharing me some crazy videos on that as well.
Oh,
and
dang.
let me tell you, women now that are being rational are being considered, it runs to snitches, okay? And that's not cool. That's not cool because now we're being too strong of women where men can't handle it anymore.
Well, here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
I don't feel, you know what? It's this world now that women are becoming, very very strong, and very independent, and just like I've said before, with men, we have to be able to trust our women. We have to be able to trust that they're going to support us. We have to be able to trust that they're going to, they're going to be there with us.
Wait a second, I don't think it's trust.
Well, what I'm saying
Because,
is
I
that-
mean, there's proof.
well,
There's
what I'm
proof.
saying is that for a man, what I've said before,
She goes and she cooks and then she surprises you taking it to your job. That's proof.
all I'm saying is that for a man, we need support, and for a woman, I feel like you need a leader. So you have to trust, you have to trust your men. Women have to trust the men they choose to be leaders. You can't be that strong to where you're not going to let him be the leader. And again, right? They say behind every great man there's a great woman. Well, then be the great woman behind the great man. You can't, behind the man. You can't, So women got to trust in their men to be able to be leaders. Choose those people that they can be leaders.
So with that being said, if you're gonna say that, then you have to agree right? That when you tell like an older kid and a younger kid when they're having a fight or anything, you always tell the older kid, hey, you know better. You know better, right? So then if that's the case, what you're saying with men and women, then men should be the ones that grit their teeth a little more. And it doesn't matter if the woman is wrong. You as the man should know, hey, you know what's going to upset her with how you say it. You know what she's going to be like, aw, with how you say it. So, I mean, what's up with that?
Well, the what's up with that is that women like to look at what's in men's hearts, and that's what's in their minds, and that's the problem. Because I know that my wife chose me because I know I have a great heart. I know I'm a great person, but my mind wasn't straight, and that's the problem.
Okay, it wasn't straight. That's
No,
a problem.
that's the problem. So that's what I'm saying.
And how did you figure it out, though? How did you figure out, like, hey, I have to be the bigger person to be like, I got to lead this out.
Well, first
Not
of all,
confrontational,
yeah.
but submissive with love, with the secondary way that you don't know how to do it. Because it's logic, right?
Yeah, it's 25 years. It's a lot.
Well, not just 25 years. It's just,
I learned last year.
if you guys are going to be one, right? If you guys are going to be a couple, you should learn that pretty early on.
But you know what? I feel like it's that whole, we go back to the whole yin and yang, the codependency and and the dependency. It's like, that's the problem. I feel like when I met my wife, she was pretty much on her own. I mean,
Well, women nowadays isn't though. We got our house.
No,
we
but
got not one car.
yeah.
We got two cars. We got our job. We got our dogs that we take care of and our cat. We got everything straight. So what would you tell a guy now in this generation?
Well,
Like, how would you be a man? Because it's changed.
and that's the difficult part. That's the difficult part where we run. Men run into these women that are successful, that are a certain way, and it's like they don't know what to do.
Okay. So, because women are now being too strong, that means for me, I would tell my son, in this generation, son, you got to have goals. I know you work a lot. I know you do a lot. I know you want to play Nintendo, but that needs to be like number 3 before kids. You got kids, and that thing's just out the window. You're not even going to think about that until everything else is resolved. Because you are going to be a visionary, because you can't just go in a direction without having an aim. You got to have an aim. And the woman is just waiting for you, going, what now? What now? And you're going to go, set sail that way. And if you're going to set sail that way, then the woman's going to be like, okay, let's go. So I know that I need to bring this down. We need to maintenance this. We need to do this. And we need to have a direction. Otherwise, you're going to piss her off. If you're just sitting there stagnant, doing nothing, and just doing your selfish things, sleeping in, playing games, son, and this is me talking to my son, good luck. You're going to consider this woman hard-headed and hard to deal with. Why? Because she's not going to be following no leader that has no vision.
But the problem is that there's women that does, because they see the good in him and the possibility.
And that's happening all over the place
that's what I'm
now.
saying.
Because like I
That's what I'm
said, we
saying.
have our place, we have 2 cars, we have everything already set. We're paying our mortgage and everything.
Trust me.
So when you're coming in to make a tree, make this twig into a tree. Now, if you're going to keep this twig a twig, no.
I got you.
Strong women are going to stomp you out.
And it's funny you say that about the whole gaming thing, because we just literally, like, maybe a couple
That's
of days
the generation.
ago, we were talking about, the whole gaming thing. We were watching a program, and it's like, well, I used to game a lot. She's like, and she said, you did. You used to game quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I noticed that, when, work came in, when work started coming and you started looking into, you started, like, downplaying work, because I just didn't have time.
Yeah.
So, she at least saw that when I did have to work, it's like, oh, dang, okay, I got to let, it's only, maybe 3 times a week. Oh, dang, it's only 2 times a week. Oh, man, it's only once a week. Oh, it's once a month. Oh, man. I stopped at PlayStation 3.
See, and that's beautiful, though, because I've heard some women get frustrated, and they are so domineering where they're just like, what did I say? And then they become the controlling people. You found it on your own, and she allowed you to slowly titrate that. That's gross.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's big.
I feel like, again, this person's got to come down and this person's got to come up. You got to find that middle ground with whoever you're with.
And that's where it kind of goes beautifully, I think. It beautifully goes with where you said, what's the best relationship? The one that you keep working on.
It's constant. That's constant. It doesn't stop. Problems will never, ever, ever stop.
It made me gag the first time you said it, but I was just like, you know what? Now I see it. It's a tough pill to swallow.
Yes. Yes. So I realized it. Once I realized, we're always going to be not in agreement. Oh my God. So I got to be okay with stuff.
That's right. That's
So-
right. Because, like always, as we say, right?
There's no growth.
Without pain. Until next time.
Until next time.